Inotia 3 is a 2011 mobile RPG made by a Korean developer, and it's a really weird game to think about, because, it's one of those games that you would find one day on the mobile app store and play it a lot as a kid, and then forget about it for a really long time until you're an adult, and then you remember it, and that happened to me. I remembered this game while I was making the Soul Knight video, so instead of finishing that video, I'm going to make an entirely new one talking about this game, and maybe a little bit of the series that I found information about, because I was a little curious about some things. I did a little bit of research for this video. I did a little bit of deep diving into this game series that I had very little information on, and I also played through the game, and I want to just talk about this really old game that I found interesting. So that's all I have to say for this intro. On to my disembodied voice. Bye. Now, before getting into Inotia 3, I thought, what about Inotia 2? Well, luckily, the extremely empty Inotia 3 wiki says the name of the original game right in the summary. So I just have to go and copy that and put that into Google, and I don't think I'm Korean. I can't read any of this. A few Google Translates later, I was able to find Chronicles of Inotia 1, The Legend of Fiona, and Chronicles of Inotia 2, The Wanderer of Luon. And these games are well, they're hard to find and play, and it was already impossible trying to find an APK for Inotia 3, so let's just run with this. Also, it doesn't look that fun to control, so I'm not gonna do that. Wait, it's not Inotia, it's Inotia. I've been saying this wrong for so long. It's not Inotia, it's Inotia. Wait, what? Anyway, so for some reason in Korea this game is called Inotia 2, and in America this is called Inotia 3. I'm not really sure why that is, when there very clearly is a first two Inotias, so I don't know. Maybe the first one was called something else in Korea. Anyway, from what I can tell, this series is pretty popular in Korea, so I'm a little interested in seeing what this game is like. So, I don't know how else to get into the game, so I'm gonna do it now. Inotia 3 opens by asking questions about fate, I don't know, and then we are in a flashback, I think, because everything is monochrome, and we are a person with long hair. He fights off some goblins, some more goblins, and then he arrives to a group of demons and also a girl. This girl is Irene. She is this guy's sister, who is name dropped as Lucio, and she gets berserked as the Dunmer taunts her because all humans are the same. They all want violence and blood. And then Irene attacks Lucio, and then this blue-haired girl comes out of nowhere and then does a flashbang, and cut to this short-haired kid named Lucio. I wonder if any of these two characters have connections. Anyway, Lucio is celebrating his 18th birthday with his crush Amelie. The crush part is important because it will be brought up several times throughout the entire game, and I will not mention them anytime after this. In order to complete the 18th birthday ceremony, you have to go to a sacred tree, so that's what Lucio and Amelie do. So they go deep into the forest to go find a leaf from a tree, and then something weird happens. There's a dead orc! That's a little strange. Amelie suggests that the orc should be brought back to life. And Lucio is orc racist, so he suggests that if we bring him back to life, then he'll just wake up and kill the both of them. Amelie says it's still the right thing to do, and she goes pretty pleased with a cherry on top, and Lucio agrees to go out and get materials to go revive the orc. And this is where we get into the gameplay loop of this game. This game is an old action RPG for mobile devices, so a lot of the gameplay is grinding. This game is a grind fest. I think it does grinding well. I enjoy grindy games. So if you don't like endless grinding, that's 90% of this game. You won't like playing it. But I enjoy playing it, so moving on. Amelie brings the orc back to life. The orc's name is Kundin and realizes that he is in the sacred tree grounds and sees Lucio and realizes he's seen this in a dream. So he gives mysterious gauntlets to Lucio and tells him to hide. And Lucio watches Kundin tell this gentleman over here, Cain, that he does not have the gauntlets, so he can just go now. But Cain is a little angry about that, so he kills Kundin. This marks the first death of the game, and it will not be the last. Anyway, Lucio and Amelie are a little freaked out about this. They were given mysterious gloves that have some significant importance to kill someone over, and so they return back to the village elder and tell him, what do we do with these gauntlets? And the elder's like, I don't know, give it back to the orcs because they can defend themselves and we really can't do anything. It would be a shame if this Cain raided our village later on. So they do just that. Upon arriving to the orc village, Lucio and Amelie have an unwelcome surprise as 3 orc guards attack them. This is the first boss fight in the game. That's all the significance this has. Anyway, afterwards they show the gauntlets to the orc elder and he tells them to go give the gauntlets back to the wind spirit. For context, there are 4 spirits that all guard a piece of artifact, and the wind spirit is one of them. Anyway, the orcs are running low on supplies, so this human just turned 18 child is clearly their best bet on giving back these ancient artifact gloves to a god. And that assumption was right, as Lucio was able to pass the test that the Wind Guardian Spirit gave him, and is now able to confront him, where the Wind Guardian Spirit calls him the successor of light. So Lucio is now a chosen one. He's a little confused about that. He doesn't really want to be a chosen one to kill off darkness. He just wants to live in a comfy small village and have a girlfriend. Unfortunately, he's not going to live a comfy quiet life. He is the successor of light, so the orc elder tells him to protect the gauntlets with all his life, and then sends him off to go to the sacred tree through this little shortcut with Kundin's younger brother, Kuntu, who is one of many characters that's going to be more interesting than Lucio and Amelie combined. Now the gang are currently going through a tomb and gonna go fight necromancers and zombies and stuff, so while they're off on doing that, I want to talk about the art direction in this game. I like the art in this game a lot. Portraits are really good at expressing each character's personality, and I also just like looking at them. The pixel art is also pretty fun to look at. I also have a lot of respect for the game for making all of the armor pieces visible on the characters and also weapons. Sure, it's obvious that all of the body types are being reused with different heads, but still, I think it's cool. I also really like the way each of the areas look. They all look very distinct from another, and it is really fun to just explore this place, even if it does kind of feel stale at times. At least there's new fun things to look at. I also really enjoy the music. For being simple 30-second loops, they're pretty listenable. I do like listening. I can tolerate them throughout the entire game, though there are like only 10 tracks in this game maximum, so you might get tired of the same songs playing over and over again. You sort of just gotta get used to that. And another thing, not about the art direction, but every quest in this game is a kill and collect quest. Like I said, this game is a grind fest. Gotta get used to it. Just get used to it. Anyway, the gang arrive at the necromancer, and it's time for his disciplinary action. Afterwards, Kuntu brings Kundin's spirit back from the dead for a brief moment. It's still dead. Kuntu brings Kundin's spirit back so that he can ask him about the gauntlets. Kundin says, your destiny is to be the successor of light, and Lucio is like, wait, that's my destiny? I don't want that to be my destiny, and at this point, you're assuming that this entire game is going to be about Lucio denying his destiny and eventually breaking out of it. And while that would be a cool subversion, that doesn't happen. But Lucio still thinks he can break free from his destiny, so he runs away and tries to go back to his home village. But oh no! The village is being raided by Cain! So Lucio must run away to a different city and do something there. I don't remember the dialogue. I should probably review the footage. Also, the Charmer is dead. Cain killed her. And second death, mark that down. Also, one of Cain's henchmen pops out and he's gonna kill Lucio and Amelie, but actually he dies because he was destined to. Got him. This may sound like I'm rushing things, but I'm not. All this happens within the first hour of the game. Anyway, Amelie was petrified. Oh no. So now Lucio has a new objective, bring Amelie back. So now he goes on to the next village and talks to a little dwarf, and he says that there's an archmage that can help him, but he's in the next village over. And in order to get there, you need to go through a gate that is blocked, and you need a magical scroll to open the way. So we're going back to the cemetery to go get a magical artifact to break through this wall. We're not done grave robbing just yet, give it a little more time. Also, the gauntlets that Lucio has been holding on to is called Laciel's gauntlets. That's not important right now, but just keep the Laciel name in mind. Anyway, going into the chapel in the cemetery, we see a girl with blue hair? Wait! Lucio immediately makes the connection and tries to talk to her, but she flashbangs him and runs away. A few steps later, Lucio tries to talk to this girl again, and he gets flashbanged so hard he's in a flashback now! Long-hair Lucio wakes up in a forest outside of town, and remembering what happened, he wants to go back into the village just to see the aftermath of everything, and he finds his sister's dead body. Death number 4 added to the list. Long-haired Lucio is understandably mad about it and has a breakdown in the village. Cut back to regular Lucio, and he still wants to talk to this girl, so he makes one more attempt and defends her from a dastardly ghoul. And the girl recognizes him as someone. She hugs Lucio and she joins the party. And her name is going to be revealed in a few minutes. Her name is Lydia, and she is my favorite character in this game. I really enjoy her screen time. She doesn't talk much, so it is notable when she does speak up every 1 or 2 words. Anyway, we have the thing to put in the thing to go to the next village over. Hooray! So we skedaddle on over to the next city. But there's one more roadblock in the way. It's the devil from the Bible. After a little bit of a fight, the devil takes a little bit of power from Laciel's gauntlets and casts a final spell. Kunta realizes that he's too powerful to take on, and so he tells Lucio and Lydia to run away, and he's going to fight off the devil the best he can, meaning that he's dead now. Is an unfortunate loss, but we must move forward. Lydia tries to comfort Lucio, and that's adorable. I really like Lydia. Anyway, before Lucio can make it to the next town, he gets mugged. This is Candace. She spends her time in this trail to the next village to mess with Lucio. Honestly, pretty based. I'd mess with Lucio too, like steal his most valued artifact. Also, she says something to 2 bullies and it's censored. What did she say? Anyway, after beating Candace in a fight, she gives back the gauntlets and tells Lucio that she can tell him where the Archmage is if he helps her out for a little while. You see, she wants to raid an ogre den, you know, just cause why not, you know, treasure and stuff. She's a burglar. And she needs Lucio's help, I guess, just in case she needs to bail on him, I don't know. Anyway, when they make it to the ogre grounds, they see that it is covered in beings of darkness, evil little things, creatures even, and they're completely surrounding the entire area and attacking all of the ogres that are still alive. None of them are dead, so they don't count as kills. Not yet, at least. Anyway, when the gang gets into the deepest part of the ogre cave den thing, they see a minor disagreement between two people, one of which gets knocked unconscious, and the other teleports to the group, eavesdropping on them, and was about to kill them before seeing that there are 5 ogres around him, so he beats all of them up instead and then teleports away. Lucio thinks it's a good idea to take the woman back to an infirmary, but before that, we gotta go talk to the Earth Spirit. Yeah, we gotta go say hi to him. He says that one of Laciel's artifacts has already been stolen. Boo womp. Also, he calls him the Successor of Light. That's 2 spirits that call Lucio the Successor of Light. I'm starting to think he might be the Successor of Light, the chosen hero of this world. He also talks about the influence about the God of Darkness, but that's not really that important, at least not right now. Give it some time. What is important to talk about is the Darkness Order, so running over back to the infirmary and getting this mage Ada back to full health, she tells the group to stop looking for Laciel's artifacts because the Darkness Order are spooky and scary. Then after that, Candace gives an exposition about the Darkness Order. Basically, they're a cult that worship the God of Darkness, and they're gonna bring him back to life with all of Laciel's artifacts and have a host. They need a host to bring him back to life. There are 3 main head honchos that work in the Darkness Order, and then there's one massive leader. We don't know who the leader is. We won't know until very late in the game. But we do know who 2 of the head honchos of the Darkness Order are. They are Kane and Cardis, the guy that beat up Ada. So now Lucio is given a new objective: find Laciel's artifacts. He's already missing one of them, and hopefully he doesn't miss his gauntlets. That would be bad. But still, we're on a side quest to go cure Amelie from her petrification, if you remember from way back when. So Candace leads the 2 to go to the Archmage, where he tells everyone that he can bring Amelie back from the petrification, but he needs a few ingredients. So you know what that means. You have to go out and get more ingredients. Oh boy. There's not really that much you need to know about this part of the game. It's just more filler. You do, however, need to know about Jeppy. This is Medusa's pet bat. I really like Jeppy. Jeppy shirts are coming soon on AliExpress. Anyway, after a while of questing, Lucio comes back to the Archmage and he gives them an antidote that cures Amelie of petrification. So they go try to cure Amelie, but she's just not budging, which is sort of unfortunate, I guess. Guess you're gonna have to do more questing, more useless filler. Oh boy! Lydia, horrified by being forced to do more monotonous grinding, decides to bring Amelie back herself by using her flashbang skill, because apparently that also cures petrification, I guess. But this also forces Lucio to be forced back into a flashback, so we're back in Long-Haired Lucio's story. And in today's episode, Long-Haired Lucio is really upset that his sister got killed by Dark Elves, so now he's racist. Long-Haired Lucio confronts the leader of the Dark Elves, Judder, and he says, I didn't kill your sister, you killed your sister. And then Long-Haired Lucio finally remembers, yeah, he actually did kill his sister because he was the one that got berserked, I think, and that made him kill his sister. In a tragic turn of irony, he is racist towards himself. I don't know. But Lydia stops that from happening by existing, I guess, and Lucio wakes back up. Hooray! And also Amelie is back to normal. Hooray! And when Lucio comes up to talk to Amelie, she tells Lucio to look out in the horizon, and out there he sees that his village is raided and on fire. Oh no. Well, Lucio doesn't have a home anymore. That's a little unfortunate. And also Lydia's knocked unconscious, and that's actually upsetting. I really like Lydia. So I guess she's out cold for a while. In the meantime, everyone decides to go back to the dwarf's house. The dwarf is here. His name is Colin. I don't think I brought him up that much at all. I only brought him up once. This is GD Colin. He lets Lydia stay in his bed for a little while until she gets back up, and then some royal guards arrive to go arrest Candace because she is a wanted criminal across 3 countries. Actually, never mind, JK, she's actually a princess. Wait, what? So Candace is the princess, and she decided to go pickpocketing because she wanted to go find Laciel's artifact so that she could stop the Darkness Order, because the God of Darkness's influence has spread into the castle, and her king has been controlled by the Darkness Order. That kind of sucks, and it's understandable why she decided to go out and try to get Laciel's artifacts back so that she can stop the God of Darkness. So, she's a good character, and she is ranked above Lucio just like everyone else. Candace decides to head back to the castle since she is royalty, and she does need to take over while her dad is being possessed, so she sends Lucio off to find Laciel's artifacts. Luckily, she has a lead, so she tells him where to go next, and then she goes on her merry way. Also, Ada joins us, yay! As the group is taking a lovely little stroll down to the next Laciel artifacts, they get cornered by some hunters, and now they are taken by Juan. This is Juan, by the way. He is trying to trap the Darkness Order and to do things, I guess find Laciel's artifacts too. He kind of sucks, and I don't like him. He sends the 3 of them to jail. While in jail, Ada tells the 2 that Cardis used to be against the Darkness Order, and then he joined the Darkness Order, and also the Darkness Order killed Ada's sister, and Cardis sort of just ignores that, and he's still part of the Darkness Order. I'm sure he's very loyal to it. Anyway, the next day, Juan tells the 3 that he will believe the group that they aren't a part of the Darkness Order if they help him find a Laciel artifact. So that's what they're going to do. And also, this is a hostage situation. Amelie is being benched against her will, and Juan is going with them on the journey. So that means no more priest. Oh no. And Amelie's not getting any more screen time for a while. She had a brief moment. I'll give her that. While everyone is quickly making their way to the next Laciel artifact, I'm going to briefly talk about the different classes of this game because I think they were all revealed at this point. So I don't have enough footage to show all of them, so I'm just going to go over this really quickly. There are 7 classes in the game. There's Barbarian, Priest, Archmage, Shadowhunter, Paladin, and Rogue. 4 of these classes are pretty good and actually worth playing. Paladin and Priest are really good for buffing and support and can even pack a punch if they wanna. Barbarian and Archmage are the main damage dealers, and they are a little squishy, but they can pump out quite a bit of damage, so it is good to have them and pair them up with Priests and Templars just to sort of make sure they stay alive. Shadowhunter and Rogue are both classes that are way too fragile for any type of damage, so will just end up being completely destroyed. Also, Barbarian and Archmage both have really good AoE attacks. Shadowhunter and Rogue don't have that, so they're really fragile, they die easily. Sure, Rogue pumps out a lot of damage, but she's going to die. Anyway, the 2 hostages in the hostage take make their way to the Dwarven Cave, where they're going to go talk to the spirit. I don't remember which element this was. And before that happens, the place has been completely raided by demons and succubi, so I think someone of the Darkness Order has already gone here first. A little bit of investigating later, and we find a mage named Ceres who is killing all the dwarves and trying to get one of Laciel's artifacts. There are 4 dwarves dead here, so body counts get skyrocketing right now. Lucio sees the bodies, and it reminds him of the flashback of all of the dead bodies that he saw in his past, I guess, so he gets really mad, and then Laciel's armor appears on his body, and then he attacks Ceres? What? After getting beaten to a pulp, Ceres realizes she is going to die, so she retreats, and Lucio is still on a rampage because he cannot control the power of Laciel's armor, so he goes unconscious for 3 days. After waking up, he decides to go back to check up on Lydia, and she still hasn't woken up, so now it's actually a problem. She might be in a coma, so Lucio needs to talk to the Archmage to go get her a wake-up potion. Who is this guy? So instead of going back to the Archmage, he goes to a different guy for a wake-up potion in a different area with much more dangerous enemies and spiders that will instantly kill you with their venom. Wake-up potions shouldn't be that hard to come by, and this guy, Sage, isn't able to help them. So instead, he sets up a portal for Lucio and Amelie to go through to Morrowind to go get the Dark Elves to give them a wake-up potion so that they can wake up Lydia, except it's not a potion, it's a magical rock that will send them into Lydia's brain so that they can wake her up forcefully. So Lucio and Amelie go to this village of Dark Elves where they meet... Wait! Now I know what this looks like. This isn't the same person. I think he might be an ancestor or something. This is Judecca. Initially, he doesn't want to help Lucio and Amelie, but after getting beaten up, he really realizes how considerate he hasn't been. So he tags along with them to go help them find the magical artifact to wake up Lydia. The magical artifact in question belongs to a dragon. The dragon doesn't want to give up the item, and instead wants to send Lucio on another meaningless quest. So instead, Lucio just kills him. Going off track for a little bit, but this fight is honestly one of my favorites. It actually feels like a proper boss fight where he has AoE attacks that you actually have to dodge and has fireballs and everything, and he's just a big dragon that you have to fight. They actually did something interesting with him when every other fight was just a human, so props to the team. Anyway, Lucio gets the thing, he gives it to Sage, he makes a portal into Lydia's mind palace. And while weird memory things are happening, basically what happened was Lydia realized as a plot device she was no longer needed, so she refused to wake up and was just ready to die. But Lucio argues that that isn't true because she is integral to the final boss and ending, so she decides to wake up for a little bit longer. Hooray! As everyone comes out of Lydia's brain, Judecca pops in and is like, hey, I know where the next Lacial artifact is, and if it isn't there anymore, then y'all are screwed. So everyone quickly runs over to Somerset Isles because that's where the next Lacial artifact is, and once they make it, they find out that they were just in time to get the final Lacial artifact. I don't remember what it was. But they head back, and Cain is in the way. Oh no. Cain is ready to steal all of Lucio's artifacts, but Lucio is out for blood. He wants revenge. His entire hometown was destroyed. So he beats Cain to a bloody pulp, and Cain teleports away with all of Laciel's artifacts. Oh no, it's over. But at least they don't have the sword. They don't have the sword, they just have everything else. It's fine. We're fine. Cut to Cain being saved by Cardis, and Cardis kills Cain as he delivers the rawest line ever. Everyone dies someday, and now Cain, your time has come. Oh yeah, by the way, Lydia also has Laciel's sword, and also she ran away, and she went and ran to Cardis and decided to go work for Cardis now. She's on his side now. Why is that? We'll find out later. Anyway, Cardis now has every piece of Laciel's artifacts. Oh no! Lucio tries to track Lydia down, describing her as a girl with lime green hair. Well, anyway, he was able to find her, and she's working with Cardis, yep, and she's like, go away, I don't want to help you. So that's a little sad. Also, Candace and her royal guard and Juan are all working towards trying to break into the castle so that they can stop whoever's controlling the king, and hopefully finish off the God of Darkness before he can even be summoned. And the leader of this cult is finally revealed to be the priest who is actually Hades, the guild leader of Grimoire Heart from Fairy Tale. This senile old guy with a comically long beard and some weird face tattoos. He berserks the king and forces Candace to fight her dad, and then he dies because darkness and stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm skipping quite a bit of the end game because this part is very drawn out. Basically, you're going through a lot of stuff that doesn't really matter all too much. It's just a frontal assault towards the castle, as everyone in the castle is a part of the Darkness Order. What really matters is getting inside the chapel and, like, getting into the room where the God of Darkness is. And when we get there, Cardus is there, and the leader of the Darkness Order is there, and he knows that Cardus was going to betray him. And he set up a counter trap card where, since Cardus is wearing all of Lacio's artifacts, he's going to be the host for the God of Darkness. Also, the God of Darkness has been possessing the priest this whole time, meaning he's technically dead. And then the God of Darkness possesses Cardus, and then we fight him for a little bit, and then he realizes that would be better if he possessed Lucio, so he attempts to do that, and also he destroys Laciel's sword. But then Amelie creates another Laciel sword out of nowhere, and then Lucio absorbs both swords inside of himself, and then he remembers that he's actually a reincarnation of Laciel, I think. And also, Lydia is a materialized version of Laciel's sword sheath? What is this game? And then the God of Darkness realizes that it's definitely beneficial for him to possess Laciel's sword sheath for some reason, so he goes inside of Lydia, and then Lydia's like, yes, I can trap you now, and then we want to save Lydia still, so we jump inside of Lydia's head another time so that we can fight the God of Darkness in his pure Eldritch Abomination form. And this final boss fight actually feels like a proper boss fight. He has two attack patterns where he starts out with making himself invincible and then immobilizing someone with grabby hands, and you have to destroy the grabby hands while he's passively shooting damage at you. Once the grabby hands are down, he'll come back down and then you can attack him while he shoots out spines from the ground. Then, in his second phase, he will summon shadow versions of everyone that will kamikaze explode on everybody and instantly kill them. Honestly, getting past this second phase is a little bit luck-based, but it's a fun fight. I enjoyed playing this. This is actually a proper boss fight that you have to move around and dodge attacks in. I'm flabbergasted it took this late for them to actually do something interesting. This game's fine, I like it. Anyway, with the God of Darkness dead, he's not actually permanently dead. You see, Lydia has to use Great Seal on the God of Darkness, killing both of them. Huh. Doing this will reset everyone's memory back to the beginning of the game, but without the whole game actually being played thing. So Lydia finishes herself off, having a double kill at the end of the game. Everyone returns to their normal mundane lives. The ending scene talks about how everyone went back to their own mundane lives, but with everything just a little bit different because of everything that happened in the game. And then the game is over. That is Inotia 3. Except, there's a New Game Plus where I swear this is real. I've not been able to find footage of it, but I did see this when I first played the game. If you play New Game Plus and get to the point where Lucio is being chased by Kane's bandits at the very beginning of the game, the wizard that tells the bandits the wrong direction that Lucio went in will realize that everything is different now because this game already happened, so something isn't right. So he sends Lucio and everyone else a part of his group to a different adventure where he does other things. I don't remember what happens, but I know it's a completely separate journey, and it's really cool, and I wish I saw footage of it, because I think it's cool. It is a way grindier than the base game, but I still think it's cool, and I want to see what happens at the end of it, but alas, nobody I've seen online has gotten to that point, or just assumed that the game was over after the New Game Plus stuff. And that was Inotia 3. Before going to my overview and my overall thoughts about the game, I am pretty curious about how many people died in this game. So, let's find out and get to the numbers. 16 people died in Inotia 3, 13 male and 3 female. With a runtime of 5 hours, that gives us a kill on average every 18.75 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to the dragon. He had his own unique animation for dying and everything, and his fight was overall just pretty fun. Dull machete for lamest kill goes to the 4 dwarves killed by Ceres. They were off camera, so we never actually knew what she did, but we do know that they're dead. And that's Inotia 3. Overall, my thoughts are this game is pretty good. The RPG gameplay is pretty simple, and it is pretty fun and addictive to just play through. It's definitely something that you would play to pass the time, and on the plus side, there were no ads when I played this while it was still on the App Store. Well, there were ads, but they were banner ads in the main menu, so they didn't really intrude on anything. Overall, I wholeheartedly recommend this game. It's a simple, short game that you can replay a few times as different classes and still get different experiences out of them. It has some fun gameplay, and yeah, I recommend it. However, this is where I get to the fun part. Inotia 3 isn't available on Play Store. It has not been available for a very long time since the App Store purge, where both app stores took down games that were not being actively updated anymore. Inotia 3 was included in this, so the only way you could play it is through APK, but Inotia 3 is very unstable and very hard to play unless you have an old phone to run it. And for me, even if you do have an old phone, it will crash every 2 to 5 minutes. I had to suffer through endless amounts of crashing anytime I just did anything. There is no consistency. It's on a timer. I swear, this game is a ticking time bomb. And every 1 or 5 minutes, it will crash. Anywhere between it'll crash. And every time it does crash, it'll have a guaranteed secondary crash that happens shortly after. I don't know what causes it, but I hate it so much. So, no, I do not recommend playing this game, at least until the game gets fixed, but I don't think it'll ever get fixed, so if you want to suffer through endless amounts of crashes, yeah, sure, play Inotia 3, but I don't know. It's a fun game, but it's not supported anymore, and it barely works, so unfortunately, that's how I have to end this. This is definitely a fun game. I definitely understand why people like this game, and maybe in the future I'll go over Inotia 4. It does intrigue me. Unfortunately, there won't be any Inotia 5, I don't think. This franchise pretty much seems dead. I don't know what Comp2Us is busy with nowadays, but yeah. This is a sad note to end on, but I don't know what else to end it on. I'm sorry. Next month's video will be on Soul Knight, I promise.